coming onto your mat, roll gently onto your back. Let your arms hang by your side, palms facing up. And just become really heavy on your mat, sinking into the floor and relaxing all of the body, softening the face and the jaw, relaxing the belly, and just starting to observe your breath, not forcing it, but maybe just starting to elongate the inhale and the exhale, sinking a little deeper into the floor. And then gently begin to just windshield wiper blade knees from right to left. Very easy movement, not forcing the back in any position it doesn't want to go. We'll do a couple of these just to loosen up the lumbar spine. When you're ready, bring knees back up to the sky. And we'll start to just tilt our pelvis towards us, doing a nice easy pelvic tilt here, beginning to loosen up the low back, just pulling in and relaxing, pulling in and relaxing. Good. A couple more of these, just again, nice easy movements. And you can stay here if this feels like a good option for you right now. Continue to do those. But if you feel ready, we're going to raise the hips up for bridges. Good. Squeezing the hamstrings and the glutes as you rise up off the mat. Good. Just go ahead and relax as you pull right knee and then left knee into chest. Maybe just gentle rock side to side, massaging your low back. Even exploring around with some circles clockwise and counterclockwise if it feels good to you. Good. Again, just starting to observe where we feel stiff. And you can stay there or maybe cross the ankles, grab the backs of the legs, and we'll start to do some gentle rock and rolls. Maybe starting really small. And feel the massage of the back as you roll up and down. We're doing a couple of these here, but if it doesn't feel good on the back, just stay back in that little ball. But when you're ready, gently come to hands and knees. We're going to just warm up with a couple of cat-cows here. Pressing into the floor, sink your belly down, gaze forward, and then push into your palms, round your back up, and move that chin to chest. Good. Start to flare that tailbone back, drop belly down, send your gaze forward, and then tuck your tail, round your back up, and move your chin to your chest. We'll just kind of ebb and flow between these two positions as it feels good to you. Toes can be tucked or untucked here. Maybe tucked for more of a foot stretch. Good, and then rounding that back up high, we'll come into a neutral spine. Neck is long, gazing between your palms. Good, draw the belly in and see if we can tuck those toes. Press into the hands strong and raise your knees up just an inch off the floor and start to build some heat in the body. Just see how that feels to you, holding here. Good, find your breath. And then gently sink those knees right back down to the floor. Inhale, gazing forward, starting to link our movement with our breath. And exhale, round your back up, chin to chest. Sink your hips back towards your heels for an active child's pose. Arms are still stretched out in front of you. Start to feel a nice, gentle stretch of the quads. And then we're going to come back to hands and knees, and we'll push back for our first down dog of our practice. So taking time here to walk the feet out if the calves and hamstrings are very stiff. Maybe even exploring with rolling ankles to one side of your mat and the other. Again, just whatever feels right to your body. Just kind of take a moment to explore. Spread fingers wide, press into your entire hand, and slide your shoulder blades down your back. We'll just breathe here for a moment. Find stillness in those feet, gaze forward, and then we'll just gently walk to the top of the mat. Take your time here. Soften your knees quite a bit. And then maybe grasping opposite elbows, let your neck hang long. Now, if this feels a little aggressive on the back or legs, take your elbows up to your thighs to support your back a little bit more. Still try to let the neck be long wherever you are. Just taking this as an opportunity to find a nice, easy stretch. Not really forcing anything. And if it feels good to you, you can rock side to side, shake your head yes and no. And then maybe even a gentle neck stretch if it feels right for your body, clasping hands behind your neck and just a nice gentle traction. And then we'll let hands come to the floor or wherever they feel most comfortable and find a halfway lift, perhaps on the shins for our first one, and then forward folding as much as it feels good to you. And then send your heart up high, come all the way to standing, and hands come overhead down towards heart center. Good. Let your shoulder blades roll up, back, and down. Feel the weight evenly distributed through your feet. Send the crown of the head long. And then we'll take our hands back up overhead and swan dive our arms all the way to the floor, forward fold. Take a breath in and halfway lift, keep the back really long, and then fold gently in. Place your hands to the floor, and we're going to step back into plank for just a moment and lower our knees to the floor. Gently send your chest down to the ground and untuck your toes. Good. Squeeze your elbows in, keep your palms down on the floor. Take your gaze slightly forward and then raise your hands up and try to pull your upper back up a little bit higher in your chest using just the back muscles, no hands. Good. Holding it here for just a moment, really squeezing and engaging, and then lower back down. Good. Squeeze elbows in. We're going to press into our palms, firm up our thighs. This time, push into your hands and rise up a little bit higher and then wave down. Cobra waves here. We're going to do that again. Reach the chest up just a little bit higher and coming back down. We'll do that one more time, but really feel those back muscles lifting you up. The hands are barely having to push. And then squeeze everything, come back up to your little half plank and send it back for child's pose for just a moment. Knowing that you can always come here at any point during this class if you need a little rest break. And then when you're ready, gently coming back up to our little modified plank and sending it back to downward facing dog. Taking a moment here, grip into your palms and breathe. Take a moment, look to the top of your mat, and then gently walk or step to the top. Take a breath in as you halfway lift, keeping your back long, and then we'll fold as you exhale. Reaching high up to the sky, take a breath in, and then we'll take an exhale as we fold. Taking a breath in, halfway lift, and then planting our hands, we'll step into a plank position, dropping to knees, lowering your chest all the way to the floor. Rising up to that cobra position, and then we'll push it back to child's pose when you're ready. We'll pause here for just a moment, and then begin to wave yourself back into that half plank, all the way up and back to downward dog. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Good. Peek to the top of your mat. Either walk or take a large step to the top of your mat. On your next breath in, we'll halfway lift and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping your heart up high. Hands come overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant your hands coming into maybe a full plank this time. And we'll lower all the way to the floor or halfway into chaturanga. Either cobra or upward facing dog. And then however you choose to get there, downward facing dog. Slide shoulder blades down the back. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Good, and begin to bring your gaze to the top of the mat. Take a big step or gently walk to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep hands high over your head, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands on the mat. Good, and we'll move through our vinyasa either all the way to the floor or chaturanga, cobra or upward dog, and then back into downward dog. Breathe. Peek to the top of the mat. Take a big step or walk to the top. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rise chest high, hands overhead, and exhale, hands to heart center. Sink into chair pose. Good. So knees are bent, feet are on the floor, full weight through the foot. Hands can be at heart center if this is painful for the shoulders to reach overhead. Sinking a little bit lower. Take one more breath in and then exhale, we'll forward fold, releasing that tension. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step to your plank and move through your vinyasa, or choosing to skip a vinyasa at any point and going straight to downward facing dog. On your next breath in, rise your right leg up into the air and then draw your knee towards your nose and plant your right foot towards right thumb. Grounding your left heel towards the ground, keep your shoulders squared to the front of your mat, and we'll rise up for warrior one. Right heel and left heel are in a line or maybe a little wider apart. The feet are train tracked here. Good. Just find a moment of stillness, taking a few breaths in this pose, and then planting hands either side of your foot. Draw your right foot back to downward dog. Staying here or wave forward into plank, and we'll flow through our vinyasa, exhaling chaturanga, inhale upward dog, and exhale downward dog. Breathe. On your next breath in, we will rise the left foot high to the sky. Draw your knee towards your nose and lightly as you can step your left foot towards left thumb. Round your back heel to the floor, rise up to warrior one, squaring your shoulders and hips forward. Sinking into that front knee as much as you feel comfortable, really squaring up those shoulders towards the front of the room. Feeling a long stretch of the outer right leg here around the ankle. Just find some stillness for a moment. Take another breath in and exhale. Place your hands around your foot. Step into downward dog and stay here or waving forward for your next vinyasa. Exhaling down to chaturanga. Inhaling upward facing dog. And exhale downward facing dog. Good. Taking a moment to breathe. Starting to feel a little bit of heat in the body. Gaze to the top of your mat. Exhale, walk, step, or lightly hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Sinking right into chair pose this time. Take a breath in, and exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Walk, step, or hop into your next vinyasa or meeting in downward facing dog. Taking a breath in, rise that right heel to the sky. Exhale, draw your knee to nose, and this time, sending that right heel down. We're going to go right up into warrior one, and then exhale, hands come right back down. Downward facing dog, or move through your next vinyasa, wave forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. Good. Next breath in, raising the left heel high. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your left foot to left thumb. Ground back, heel down. Warrior one for a breath in. And exhale, plant your hands. Stepping back to down dog or waving through your next vinyasa. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Good. Peek to the top of the mat. Walk, step, or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale right into chair pose. Hands come towards our heart center. And let's take our left elbow to right knee. Try not to collapse here. Really open that chest. Good. Getting a nice gentle twist of our lumbar spine. Gaze wherever you feel comfortable. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Exhale, back into heart center and chair pose. Twist right elbow to left knee. And make that spine long. Try not to crunch that low back. Inhale, reach up high, come to standing, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant hands. Walk, step, or float to your next vinyasa. Or meet us in downward facing dog. Inhale, reaching right heel to the sky. Exhale, draw your knee to nose. And then inhale, send it right back up to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Step right foot gently to right thumb. Back heel grounds down. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. And then we'll exhale, open our hips, open our chest to that left edge of your mat for warrior two. We'll begin to take our gaze over our right hand, our right middle finger. Sink a little bit lower into that right knee, and then inhale, extend the right leg and reach hands overhead. Exhale, press the air down, come back into warrior two. So just some pulses. Inhale, rising up, and then exhale, pushing down. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, push it down. Circle that left arm forward for warrior one for just a moment, and then exhale, place your hands back on the mat. Send it to downward dog and rest, or wave it forward for your next vinyasa. Good. Just a moment here, and we're going to rise the left heel high. Exhale, knee to nose, one. Good. Inhale, rise it high. Exhale, knee to nose, two. And one more, we'll reach that leg high, exhale, knee to nose, and lightly as you can, step left foot to left thumb. Draw the right heel down. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Sinking into that front leg a little bit deeper. Adjusting the feet as we need to. Gaze over your left middle finger. And then we'll reach up to the sky, extend that left leg long, and then exhale, push the air down back to warrior two. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, pushing that air down. Good. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, pushing it down. Good. Hold for just a moment here. And then we'll begin to circle that right arm forward and up to warrior one. Exhale, place hands around your foot, stepping back to downward dog for a rest, or waving through your next vinyasa. Exhale, lowering chaturanga. Inhale, rising upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe. Good. Inhale, peek to the top of your mat. Exhale, walk, step, or float to the top. Halfway lift on your inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. Sinking right into chair pose. Hands come to heart center. Twist left elbow to right knee, and then we're going to reach right back up. Hands to heart center. Right elbow to left knee. Good. Alternating back and forth. Left elbow to right knee, twist. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right elbow to left knee. Good. One more time through. Building a ton of heat here. Inhale, and then exhale, twist. Inhale for just a moment, and then exhale, fold. Release the tension in your thighs. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, floating through your next vinyasa or meeting in downward facing dog. Good. On your next breath in, We're going to reach the right heel up to the sky. This time, trying to take your knee across your body and maybe even reaching for that left elbow. Good. Inhale, reaching up high. This time, taking that right knee for the right elbow or even the tricep. And then this time, we'll send it back up high, knee towards your nose, and lightly plant right foot to right thumb. Back heel grounds down, rise up, warrior one. Opening up warrior two. We'll take 3 of those little pumps, reaching up high, and then exhale, pushing down. Good. Inhale, rising up high. Exhale, pushing down. Good. One more time. Inhale, rising high, and exhale, pushing down. Begin to gently reach forward and then sending it back to an easy reverse warrior. Good. Opening that right side body, we'll float back to warrior two. Into warrior one, plant hands either side of your foot. Now, this time maybe sweep your right heel back up to the sky and keep that foot lifted as you wave forward to plank for a 3-legged chaturanga. Good. Inhale, upward dog, and exhale, downward dog. Fun little challenge there. Next breath in, sweeping the left heel high. Take that left knee towards your right elbow, cross the body. Inhale, sweep it back up high. Take that left knee towards the left elbow or tricep. Inhale, reach it up high. Exhale, knee towards your nose and lightly step left foot to left thumb. Ground your back heel down. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Elongate that left leg. Exhale, pump down as you bend the knee. Good. 3 of these. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Now, extend that left arm forward a little bit more and then gently placing that right hand on the back thigh. Open up for a reverse warrior. Feeling the side body open. And then coming back into warrior two, sweeping up into warrior one. Plant hands either side of your foot. Maybe send that left heel back up to the sky and keep it lifted as you wave forward to plank. And lower down for a 3-legged chaturanga. Good. Inhale, open it up. And then exhale, send it back to down dog. Taking a lot of breath here. Inhale and exhale. Good. Sweep the right leg back up high. And this time we're just going to bring our knee all the way through our hands for a pigeon stretch. And before we just fold right into this stretch, we'll think about using blocks if we need them, just to help assist. If you feel okay without it, you can just ditch the block there. Open up that left hip flexor quite a bit. Square your hips forward. You can stay here if you would like a little quad stretch where we've really been working a lot today. Grab a hold of that extended left leg. And just gently bending the knee, pulling that quad nice and tight. And you can stay lifted or you can forward fold into our pigeon stretch. If you need to rest your head on a block or a pillow, that's absolutely fine. Just trying to find a place where we can really release into the stretch. Beginning to feel our heart rate slowing. Resist the urge to move a lot here, just trying to become heavy once more on your mat again. Just feeling the release in that right hip. And then gently begin to lift your chest. Floating back into a gentle down dog, maybe shake that right leg out. And then we'll just repeat the same thing on the left side. So reaching that left foot up and then drawing that knee towards your hands and sinking into your pigeon of choice. Before we just fold right into it, really square your hips, open the right hip flexor. Staying here, reaching that left hand back for the right foot. For a nice gentle quad stretch, not overstretching here, just feeling a good tension in the muscle. And feel free to stay here as long as you like, but when you're ready, we'll release the foot and find your forward fold wherever it's appropriate for you. And once more, begin to sink into your mat and release that left hip. And gently begin to lift the head, coming back up. We'll send it back for a real gentle downward dog, shaking that left leg out if we need it. Maybe pedaling the feet out a little bit there. When you're ready, we'll just make our way into hands and knees. And then coming all the way down onto our belly. We'll stretch the arms out wide into a T shape, making sure our hands are in line with our shoulders. And we'll begin to look over to our left palm, our left hand, and bringing our left hand by our side like a half chaturanga here. And then bending our left knee, we're going to let our leg guide us through this stretch. So letting that left leg reach gently back behind the right thigh for that right edge of your mat and just gently begin to roll open, feeling a stretch in the right chest. And then let that left elbow sink towards the floor if you feel okay here. This feels all too intense for your body. Just simply come back onto your belly. And just as we came into the stretch, letting that leg guide us back to the floor, stretch back out, taking our gaze now over towards our right hand, bringing our right elbow in and bending our right knee. We'll use that right leg to help guide us into this gentle twist, pushing into the right palm as well. Only going as far as it feels good to your body. Head still on the floor, and then that right elbow will sink to the mat, feeling that opening in the left chest. Good. And just as you came into it, letting that right knee guide you back towards the floor. We'll just make our way onto our back. Very easy, taking your time. Bringing the right knee into our chest and then extending our right foot up towards the sky, maybe playing with some ankle circles. If it feels good to you, you can extend your left leg long and even reach up a little higher onto the calf or ankle. Just trying to open the back of the leg. And then we'll switch legs, bring the left knee into your chest, sending that left leg long. Right leg is either bent or straight, whatever feels most appropriate for your body, and grasping wherever it feels most available for you. Maybe playing around with some ankle circles, feeling how the leg is connected. And then gently placing both feet back onto your mat. Open your arms wide to a T once more. Drape the knees over to the left edge of your mat. And maybe bring that right knee up a little bit higher for a deep spinal twist. And taking your gaze over towards your right palm. Eyes can be open or closed. And making this very relaxed, very passive. Good. We'll do that the other side. So coming back to center, drape the knees over to the right edge of your mat, maybe pulling that left leg up a little bit higher to deepen the twist and looking towards your left palm, eyes open or closed. Not forcing this stretch, just letting gravity kind of pull you in towards the earth. And then coming back onto our back, we'll move into our final Shavasana, our final resting pose. Letting feet be really relaxed, palms facing the sky, heart is open. Jaw is not tight, eye creases are relaxed. Breath is very slow and relaxed. And gently maybe wiggle fingers and toes, bring some movement back in, sweep hands overhead, stretch out the whole body, and then rolling to either side of your mat for just a moment, pausing for gratitude, and then coming up to sit when you're ready. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.